Try that.
All right, so we're getting back to work today, and I'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Again, that is Better, H-E-L-P. We're back at it yet again, bringing you another awesome video. We got this Jeep that I have to work on, but Hillbilly is gonna be working on my FJ. We're gonna be getting that in on the lift, pulling the body off. It's probably realistically as far as we'll get. But he's gonna get it in, get it on the lift, start disassembling it, pulling it off the body so that we can put the FJ on our Jeep frame. It's gonna be so cool.
In all reality, it's probably going to take maybe 5 minutes. It's going to take longer to get it in here because the body mounts are probably all rusted out. We can just lift it straight off the frame.
Yeah, seriously, just cut it. Actually, we're not going to cut anything because the chassis is still good.
And there's not very many plugs.
We want to keep all of the Toyota stuff together so we can make a buggy or something cool. Or maybe sell it. We don't know. Should we sell the frame? Does anybody out there need a 78 FJ55?
I got an idea. Why don't we take one of the clunkers out back and make one of those Gambler 500s, one of those cars, and stick on that frame?
That would be kind of cool, but that's a lot of work. So I don't know. So I'm doing the super awesome, really intensive collision work. Hillbilly's gonna be doing fun stuff. And once I'm done getting this torn apart, I'll go help him. And that's that.
He says fun stuff. It's more like more dirty stuff. His job won't get as dirty as what I'm gonna be getting.
All right, so I'm gonna be pulling the cooling system out of it. Basically, I wanna dissect everything to where I can get to this upper rail. But I'm gonna try to keep this thing mobile so that once Cody gets the vehicle off the frame rack, we can drive this up on and get this whole stuff all pulled out because it's hit hard. We're not gonna mess with the axle today. That's gonna immobilize it. So I'd like to get all the pulling done first before I figure out the axle.
And we're getting started on the FJ55. It's been a minute since we've done anything with it, so figured might as well bring it back in and get working on it so we can get Robby's rock crawler built. But here it is. It's all its rusted glory. But first, I have to get some stuff moved around so I can get it through the gate and into the shop. So we've been trying to think of a name of the Toyota. As I was getting ready to move it, I'm like, gotta think of a name for it. And I found out that my Uncle Jim, who was the owner of it, his CB handle was Jackrabbit. So I'm kind of thinking of naming the old Yoda the Jackrabbit. Well, let me know what you guys think about that name. I really like it because it was his name. Okay, so before we can move the FJ55 Land Cruiser in, it has some flat tires. I was dreading stringing air hoses and everything out there because we need like 10 of them. And then I remembered, Robby got a Milwaukee battery operated air compressor. So we're gonna go test it out. First time it's ever getting used. I'm cutting the tape to even open it to look at it. So I'll grab a battery and then we'll go outside and see how good it does. First tire to challenge. I like that it has a pretty long hose. Most of these little electric ones only have like a 6-inch hose. Not this one. Screw it on tight. Not so tight that you rip the valve stem, but tight that it does what it's supposed to. Turn it on. We'll go 30 PSI. Then you hit that button that shows a tire gauge into a hose with little squiggly lines for air. I can see the tire starting to move. So there's not enough pressure in there to read the gauge for the gauge to move, but the tire's moving and starting to roll outwards. There it goes. Okay, that aired up to 30 PSI really quick. So I want to know the exact time. I'm gonna press start on both of them at the same time. 3 minutes is all it took to air it up completely up to 30 pounds. From completely flat, that is pretty fast for a little air compressor like this. All the ones I've used that you just plug in your cigarette lighter, they take 20, 30 minutes just to pump up to 30 PSI. This thing moves quick. Okay, so while this last tire's airing up, I wanna hurry and get the gate opened up all the way, get the skid steer over here, get it all hooked up, so that way when it's done aired up, we can just move right into the shop. Guess how long it takes to air up from flat to 30 pounds of pressure?
25 minutes?
2.5 minutes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, considering most cigarette lighter ones takes like a half hour. You have to choose what pressure you want and then start it. Once it hits that pressure, it shuts it off.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay, all the tires are aired up. I got the strap put on. So now I'm gonna jump inside and I'll have Steve put the strap on the fork. Okay, we got it in the shop. Now we're gonna put up on the hoist. We got the lift all set, so you know what that means. Hey Robby, it'll be sitting about that high, correct?
Somewhere around there.
That's going to look really awesome. Now let's go and inspect and see what we all have to do to get this off. Got a body mount there. Another one right there. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a total of 5 body mounts on one side. So that means we have 10 body mounts total. Any like electrical plugs, clutch, steering wheel. We'll do all that stuff once we get it lowered, and then the cab should just come straight up. So first things first, got us the good stuff, can of free. I'm gonna get all the body mount bolts sprayed so I can start soaking. So if you're never too sure on what size it is, you have a kind of an idea, always grab the size you think it is, and one size bigger and one size smaller. Then you know one of the sizes you have will fit, and you don't have to go back and forth so many times. There it is. I thought it was a 14, wasn't sure, so I got a 15 and a 13. I don't know how I'm gonna get that one. Pretty good, it does go through the cab. I'm gonna lower it down, have Steve jump inside so I can go back up and we get that bolt out. Hey Steve, we'll see you later. Okay, I got all the body mount bolts undone. There is some wiring I'm gonna cut. That's back here. That runs for the trailer plug lights, and it's all been spliced together. A couple of the wires are ripped. We're gonna wanna replace that. So, bye-bye. Now, start getting under the hood all undone. It should be ready to come off after that. I'm gonna get this hood undone. Okay, so I do know for sure the master cylinder has to come off. This thing hasn't been started for how long, and it's holding vacuum still. That's a good brake booster, not a good hose. I have to undo the heater. No, that's not a heater. Is that a turbo? Electric turbo that hooks into the carb to force air? That's crazy. Oh, whoa. No. I have no idea what that is, but back to getting stuff tore off. Start with this. Master cylinder. My arm is tired, because right now I'm working on getting the radiator drain bolt out, and it's not the normal little plastic 2-ear piece that you just spin like 2.5 turns and start spewing out. This is an actual full-on nut, or bolt that goes into the bottom of a nut that goes in the bottom of the radiator. It's been in there probably since when it was new, 78, so it's not moving very easy. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Finally got the drain bolt out of the radiator. Letting it drain, but it's down far enough that I can start unhooking the heater hoses off of the cab. Then we'll get inside the cab, find out if we can unplug the main wiring harness and just feed it all out so that way it all sticks part of the motor, and we don't have to unplug out of here to lift the cab and then have to unplug it all from under the dash and back out here. It's just gonna be easier to find if we can unplug it from inside and let it all come out. Okay, so now I'm gonna undo, I believe it's the e-brake cable. Pop that out and then figure out how it's held in. It's gonna be a bigger pain to figure out where this wiring harness all runs. We have to drop pretty much the whole dash to figure it out. So I'm just gonna pull this blower motor, find if there's any plugs underneath here, undo them, and trace the wiring harness all the way out and just leave it with the cab unbolting lines off the firewall so that way we're ready to pick the cab up. Nothing's attached to the cab that shouldn't be attached to the cab. Okay, so I got all the lines unbolted off the firewall. Now, work on the master cylinder for the clutch. So there's one last thing I have to do to get the clutch master cylinder off, and that's pull the pin to disconnect it from the pedal. Right now I'm working on getting the steering all undone. It's giving me some fits. It's not wanting to come off very easy. So the firewall side of the steering arm, or the steering ain't coming out, so now I'm trying the gearbox side. I think we're gonna have to wait until we start lifting up on the cab to start sliding the steering off, because I can get it to move towards almost all the way off, and then you barely bump it, and it slides back on, and when it does, you can watch the whole cab slide forward. So it's trying to push the cab away from it, because the slip part of it, I think, is seized up, so we'll have to do it as we lift it up. Yep. Okay, I'm working on what appears to be the last thing, which is the radiator. And then hopefully there's nothing else. Keep my fingers crossed that it's gonna come straight off with no problems. Oh wait, no. We're gonna have to do the gear shifter. And then after that, there won't be no problems. Oh. 2 more bolts left on the radiator, and then it's ready to come off. But before I forget, I wanted to get the shifter done so once I get the radiator out, I don't get so excited that it's ready to go up and forget the shifter and mess up the floor or the shifter itself. So it's the quick release style. Then when you push down, you gotta twist. And there's the shifter. In order to get to the filler neck, you gotta pop this panel off, which it's just pop clips. Well, that didn't access me much. So it looks like I have to go back up with the hoist so I can unhook that. And then while it's up in the air again, I will double check everything and make sure there's nothing else hooked to the cab. I'm starting to check for things that are, make sure that everything's unhooked. I noticed something. I'm thinking it's factory, but I'm not too sure. There's a chunk of like 3/16 steel that wraps around the bottom of or it's on the bottom of the oil pan for a skid plate. That's awesome. So all the vents, the little vents are done. I just got the big vent undo. Looks like it's gonna be easier just to cut it. And then foot filler rubber hose, but that one's so stiff that I doubt it will even flex to come off, so it's gonna have to be cut. So now everything is unhooked, hopefully, so there's not no hidden things.
It took me over 2 hours to get this one stupid little piece of plastic out of here from down inside. This upper rail is so crushed that everything was laying over and almost touching the engine. I got that all out, left the ABS unit. I found a little bit more damage. This computer, it's a Chrysler one, is busted up. So we're gonna have to replace that for sure. And I'm not actually figuring out every single little thing right now. I'm just trying to get down to the bare bones. Disassembling everything. I'm gonna get the radiator and the cooling assembly out next, but I've got to discharge the AC. That's pretty much it with teardown, is getting this radiator out because it's got damage. Fan is broken, big old chunks missing out of it. We're gonna be changing the fan, changing the radiator, redoing the AC. As soon as I get that out, I'm all the way down to the upper rail. We're hooking up the AC machine, discharging the air conditioning so we can get this radiator assembly out. Got a broken fan, got a little bit of damage on the radiator, so it's all gotta come out. Part of that is draining the coolant. Hillbilly already did that. Got more on the ground than in the bucket. That's fine, we'll clean it up. Once we get this pulled apart, we're hoping to get it pulled over on the frame rack and at least on it. Then we're getting back to work on the FJ55. We're gonna try to get that body off. The machine's done discharging. Now it won't come off. So we've got the AC all drained out. We never open up these lines. They always go through the machine. So after that, what we're gonna do is hurry and disconnect the condenser, and then I should be able to pull this whole assembly out. All right, so when you put a 6.2 LS in a Jeep, you gotta custom make some stuff. So the way this radiator works is there's no drain plug on it, and it's full of coolant. So we gotta very, very, very carefully. Oh, this even has a GM. This is a GM fan. Let's just lay it on its back now. I'm gonna get all the grounds and everything hooked back up because we are taking this to the frame rack. We disconnected everything to get the shields and everything out of the way. So now I gotta reroute it all, figure all my wiring out, put the computer back in. So we're gonna put the intake back on. Yeah. Hook the mass airflow sensor back up, all that fun stuff. Then it should be able to drive. Ow! You hit me in the thumb.
Put it in your pocket.
What's this gonna do, hill it?
Keep it out of the way.
Oh, alright, well I'll just keep my thumb in my front pocket. It won't get hurt that way. Anyway, we're gonna get the computer. This we have to replace because it's damaged, but for now, we're just gonna hook it back up. At what point can I take my thumb out of my pocket?
You decide to do something.
Okay, leave it here. We are gonna need a jumper box.
Get your thumb out of your
T-Rex.
pocket.
What? Hillbilly told me to put my thumb in my pocket, so I did. I listened really well. Enough of that nonsense. Yes, we gotta ground this computer. Goes like a this and like that and like this and Hillbilly's gonna grab us a jumper box, and this thing should drive for the first time on its own power in a long time.
I've never seen a positive wire that has so many positive wires on it.
This sucker's got an LS in it, and it requires all the power to go everywhere.
5.0 doesn't need that many.
That's because there's not that much power.
It doesn't have to have electronic for power. It has internal power.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Try that. You got everything grounded?
Maybe not. Yeah, we know it runs, so I just got to figure out. There's probably just a ground issue. All I've done is disconnect stuff right here. So that's grounded.
Is that computer plugged all the way in?
Yeah. Looky, looky what I found. That is a ground that's not hooked up. So I'll get this ground hooked up that was hiding, and I'll bet you this is the culprit of why it won't start. Make sure all your grounds are hooked up. Moral of today's story.
I'll be happy but mad if it doesn't have a knock. Mad because I didn't get finished driving it all the way.
Yeah. Some of you may recognize this old hog.
Is the battery dead?
It's gotta be. Are you sure this thing's blown up?
Are we sure it's not just the battery?
I'm not sure of anything.
We need
I just know it made one technicious knock noise. Here you go. There's a bunch of compression in the front too.
I just want to see if it'll run.
Whoa, you're smoking.
It wants to fire. It's not the starter though, it's that gear. Yeah, there's still a knock there.
That's bottom end.
Is it the bottom end? We're thinking that it's the bottom end because it does not sound bueno. But it's got compression.
Has a bunch of compression, so that's why I'm thinking it's bottom end.
Well, we got it to start. We're gonna go ahead and stop
Before we explode it.
to collaborate, and we won't listen to that blow up. So, anyway, this is Hillbilly's dream come true. He got himself a Harley project. All right, now that the old Harley's out of the way, we're gonna get the Jeep over on the frame rack, then we're coming back and we're getting back to work on the FJ because we're pulling the body off.
You've been saying that for a couple days now.
So the Jeep is on the frame rack. We've pulled the wheel off, we checked everything out, and we've determined that we've got ball joints that are bent and an outer hub assembly. So we've got a new Dynatrack hub assembly coming, some new ball joints. We'll get that all situated. There is a lower control arm that's bent as well. So we're getting back to work on the FJ55. We got to get this body off and try to see if we can set it on the frame. What have you done so far, Hillbilly?
We just got to figure out how we're going to do this one side, and then as it goes up, I'll have to stand here and pry the steering shaft off because it's seized in place so it won't collapse.
This thing is so rusty.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Go.
You should probably get out from under it.
This is so rotten.
Do we have the plan B?
Not yet. This is so rusted. I don't know that this body's worth using.
What are you cutting?
Sheet metal. That was really dirty. Doing what we gotta do. Well, these brakes did work. Got it. Okay.
You might want to ratchet strap this.
It's okay.
It's definitely not.
If it falls, we don't have to use it.
Something's still attached.
Hold it, hold it, hold it. What is?
It's right here. Is it
Oh,
still
don't get in
attached?
there. You'll get hurt.
It's really, really
everything
unstable.
Everybody take a deep breath. We're professionals.
Oh my god. Cannot let go of that.
Boy, it's balanced perfect. When in doubt, counterweight it. I was thinking that today we were going to be putting this back on the Jeep frame. I'm thinking not.
Putting this on a frame.
Look at those body mounts.
Passenger side ain't too bad.
It ain't too good.
It's a lot better than that side.
Well, let's push this out so we can really see where we're at.
A couple good bugs and houses falling off.
Was a good idea.
These are just rusted all the way out.
This isn't even anything like.
Hey! Why are you leaking all the coolant out?
You pulled the drain plug?
Let go.
Didn't we fill these tires up with air?
Now he's got a huge mess to clean up.
Oh my gosh.
So after closer examination, I think we ran into a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, what'd you get yourself into? Into a rust bucket.
Yeah, this is literally a rust bucket. Fenders are junk, doors are junk, floor is junk, quarter panels are junk.
Oh, floor's still good.
Okay, so we have solid sheet metal right here in 2/3 of the rear.
I'd say from here back.
So We'll rot it out in the center. All right, so at one point, I did have a couple people email me with bodies. Send me some emails. If you guys know where an awesome shell of a Land Cruiser is, all we need is the body, the sheet metal. This thing's garbage. It's just,
We can't even do anything with
I don't even
it.
know what to say. Like every single part of it is junk. I was super excited because I was gonna put it on the frame and, you know, mock it up and all that. And course port's rusted, fenders are rusted, body mounts are gone, rockers are gone, floor non-existent. Absolute garbage.
Let me stand right here if you're going to start pulling on it.
It's teetering.
Right here is probably the safest.
I mean, I've seen some rust. It's like this thing lived in a swamp. So, I need your help. If you know where a good donor body is, like I said, email it to me. Somebody at one point sent me a body, buried in my emails. I don't even remember who it came from. Send me some emails. car@robbylayton.com. Link will be right here. Help us get a new body. Let's strike a deal. I'm a little bit discouraged now. You know what? We got a couple weeks. We'll find a body. We'll get us a body. Maybe it'll be a road trip. Who knows? I guess that's that. As always, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.
You guys are so in sync when you do that.
That's good.